Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Fridays at the Studio. We are very pleased to have you here with us this evening. I'm Kathleen Kellaigh, the Artistic Director of ATC Studios. And just a couple of words for those of you who are joining us for perhaps the first time. ATC Studios is dedicated to nurturing the creative spirit in everyone. And prior to COVID, we would provide live forums to playwrights and screenwriters to get their work read and receive feedback from those in attendance. And since April of 2020, we have now moved that to Zoom. And we are so excited to be welcoming people from all over the country, in fact, all over the world, for this playwrights process. Thank you for being here. As part of our mission, we are making the arts accessible to everyone. We offer as many free programs as we can, and Fridays at the Studio is one of them. So if you'd like to be kept up to date with all of our offerings, including our classes, please subscribe to our newsletter. You can find the mailing list link on our website right under About Us tab. As you may know, ATC Studios is a 501c3, and as with so many nonprofits these days, things are challenging. And we humbly ask that if you can possibly donate to ATC, please do. These evenings are always free, but we are so grateful for donations of any amount that you can possibly send our way. The fastest way to do that is through Venmo that's the @ ATC Studios, or you can go to our website and there's a donate button right there. There's also a donate button on our Facebook page, ATC Studios, and we have a GoFundMe campaign as well. Tonight's offering is For the Time Being by Andrew Martineau, and it features Ziad Alezabi, Christina Auriana, Tara Haight, Sean Jordan, and Jeff Prewitt. This piece, when staged, would almost undoubtedly involve some multimedia experiences. Now, we cannot do that justice on a Zoom reading. So what you will hear is what would be projected on the screens that would be on stage. Please allow your imagination to fill in the images. So we are about to get going. You will hear my voice, but you will no longer see my face. For the Time Being, a play in 2 acts by Andrew Martineau. The setting: the living room of Mickey and Levon Lyons' duplex apartment. It is very cluttered and almost filthy. There are family pictures around the room, including a large painting of Kitty Lyons in a lion costume. It has a rather prominent spot on the far left side of the rear wall. The time is the present. The prologue. Levon is sitting on the sofa playing a video game, which we can see on the rear wall projection. He starts to video record his thoughts.
Dr. Weston, you told me to do this, so what the hell? I'm giving it a shot. I didn't have a nightmare last night, which is rare, but don't worry, they'll come back. You know, you'll get your money. I just took off a night, you know, I guess you could say. Yeah. Anyway, like I told you last week, most of my nocturnal dramas, as you call them, have been about my special ed teacher, Miss Miller, at least for the past few weeks. I had one 2 nights ago where she was shooting grapes into my mouth through this really big straw. Yeah, and the scary part was when I started to choke to death because the grapes were the size of kiwis, and Miss Miller couldn't seem to save me. Actually, she instead of that, she was trying to like push the grapes down my throat, and she was pushing on my jaw and lips like this, like, yeah. I don't know. Figure that one out. Do I have to do this every day? Like sometimes it's hard to think of something really mind-blowing to tell you. Oh, wait a second. Doc, I wrote this really fucked up sentence down. I read it in school today. Um, what I don't get is I go to this school for kids with emotional problems who could go off the deep end at any time. And here we are reading the story about people killing each other. They're like putting heads on sticks and scraping blood no one else can see off their skin. Is this responsible leadership? Let me find it. Uh, Here it is. It goes tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, creeps in this petty pace from day to day. Petty pace, what is that? I guess what it's saying is that life sucks. I already knew that though. That the dude says it right after his crazy wife offs herself. Maybe it's saying sometimes tomorrow does turn out to be as bad as today, like it or not. If that's what it's saying, then this Shakespeare dude is a genius. I mean, he's right. Time does not heal all wounds. It only makes new ones.
He resumes his video game.
I think I'll make a new game called Out Damn Spot.
He blows up some strange creature in the game.
Out damn Spot. Out with you. Oh, damn, it's back. Spots are hard as hell to get rid of. I see why this this evil woman couldn't take it anymore.
The lights fade to black, along with the projection of the game. Act 1, Scene 1. No one is on stage at Rise of Curtain. The doorbell rings. Mickey rushes out of the bathroom, pulling up his pants and buckling his belt. He answers the door.
Hey, I'm sorry I let you ring for so long. I was in the bathroom. Sometimes it's kind of hard to stop what you're doing, but you don't want to hear about that.
It's okay. May I come in, Mr. Lyons?
Are you selling something?
No, I'm Athena Miller, Levon's teacher. We spoke on the phone this afternoon.
Right. I'm sorry, Miss Miller. Come on in. I'm a little embarrassed about the mess, but to be honest with you, it pretty much always looks like this. So if you wanted to see us in our natural habitat, you're seeing it. Always telling him to pick up his shit, but you know how he is, what he's like. Have a seat.
This isn't going to be easy for me, Mr. Lyons. What I have to tell you.
You didn't come here to tell me he's real sensitive and needs nurturing and all that special ed bullshit, did you? Because if you did, I already know. Don't waste your breath.
All that special ed bullshit.
But you know what I'm talking about. Just don't start in on me with all this goddamn social psychobabble, okay? It makes me... I don't know what the word is.
I'm not a social worker or a psychiatrist. I teach behaviorally challenged high school students with learning disabilities.
Nervous is the word that comes to mind. It's like when you're in a public restroom and you know you gotta piss, but for some reason it just won't come out. And some jerk's standing beside you just pissing away, like sounding like a fire hose. So you pretend to really piss, but everybody knows you didn't because they didn't hear it. So you say, should I keep pretending and go wash my hands or just get the hell out? You don't know what the hell I'm talking about, do you?
Well, I understand what you mean by psychobabble, but the urinal problem is a bit beyond me, I'm afraid.
Oh shit, where are my manners? Would you like something to drink? Water, juice, beer maybe?
Oh, thank you. May I have some water, please?
Sure, yeah, that's easy. I'll be right back.
Mickey exits. Athena looks around, then gets up and takes a close look at the portrait of Kitty on the wall. As she is walking over there, she steps on an empty beer can. She picks it up.
Oh, I see you already have a drink.
I stepped on it.
I'm sorry, here. Let me take that for you.
I'm very sorry about your wife. Levon mentioned that she had an illness.
Yeah. She just went like that. It was meningitis. That's not something you want to get.
No, I wouldn't think so. I've been through something like that myself. It's not easy. I know.
She was actually a pretty classy stripper. Although you sure can't tell from this piece of shit painting her brother did. She never took it all off. Her real name was Kellaigh. Kitty was her stage name. Kitty Lyons. Get it? I met her when she was just waitressing topless. She was a lot nicer in those days. A hell of a lot nicer. But I don't know what I'm telling you all this for.
Well, I'm glad you are actually, because part of the reason why I came here tonight has to do with something Levon said about her.
Oh, then I may better sit down for this.
Levon comes downstairs.
Are you two having a good time?
What gives you that idea?
I don't like being talked about behind my back. My psychiatrist says he can't do it. I don't see what gives you two the right.
Hi, Levon. I'm glad you decided to come down. Why don't you tell your father what happened in school today?
Why don't you? That's why you're here, isn't it?
What'd he do?
You teachers are all alike. I thought I could trust you.
You can trust me.
You're always going on and on about how we can go to you anytime we have a problem, and that whenever we talk, we'll just be between you and me. And here you are now, about to tell him crap that I told you in private.
Levon, I am extremely concerned about you. That's the only reason I'm here tonight. Now, your father not only has a right to know what happened to you today, but I have an ethical obligation to tell him. And if what you told me about your mother has anything to do with this, then your father should know about it.
Oh, so it's not that you care about me. It's you feel that you're obligated to tell him. I get it. I'm going out. None of this seems real to me.
Levon heads for the front door.
Well, aren't you going to stop him?
Son, I think we should talk about this.
I'll be back. I just need some fresh air.
Levon, it won't do you any good to run away. Now, why don't you come sit down and let's talk about it?
Look, you can't tell him what to do. You're not his mother.
No, I'm not. Levon, I'd like it if you would stay.
Fuck you.
Levon exits and slams the front door.
He has never spoken to me in that way before.
Really? Speaks like that to me all the time.
Oh, so that was for you.
No, that sounded like it was for you.
Don't you see? He feels as if he needs to test me in front of you. I think he wants you to think he hates me.
Why would he want me to think that?
Well, I'm certainly no expert, but I think if he thinks you think he feels animosity toward everyone who cares about him, then that might, in his mind, ensure that you'll distance yourself from him, and this could relieve him from any pressure he might feel to get close or even bond to him right now. And because of certain resentments he might have with regard to you, he's doing whatever he feels he needs to do to push those pressures aside. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it would if I knew what the hell you just said.
Levon enters and silently sits back down.
Sorry, I went off on you.
Apology accepted.
Whoa, that's it? I'm sorry I went off on you? Apology accepted? Hey, how come our fights don't ever end like this?
You get hostile.
No, I don't.
It's in your voice, even now. You hear it?
I tell you what, let's not argue. Let's just talk about whatever you want to talk about, Levon. How does that sound?
Did he tell him yet?
No, Levon, I thought I'd let you tell him.
Tell me what?
Go ahead.
No, I think it would be better if you did it. Tell your father what you did in the cafeteria during lunch today.
Why don't you tell him? It's your ethical obligation, after all.
What did he tell you?
He had an argument with his girlfriend, Layla.
Wait, this the one with the girl with the ring in her nose?
Yes, well, you know how teenage girls are. If they don't think they're getting enough attention, they'll break up with a guy in a heartbeat. I know, I used to be one. Well, Layla told Levon that she didn't want to be his girlfriend anymore, and Levon, why don't you tell your father what you did?
No, you're doing fine.
You're doing fine. Yeah.
Levon, I care about you, but I also have to tell your father about a situation this serious. I want you to know that I would never discuss anything personal you've shared with me, contrary to what you might think, unless I felt it might be potentially harmful to you in some way.
Yeah, whatever you say, I really don't care.
Potentially harmful. What did he do? Just tell me.
When Layla told Levon she was breaking up with him, he took a piece of glass. It looked like a broken piece of a Coke bottle, and he was about to make a cut on his wrist.
He was about to.
Layla screamed when she saw him hold the piece of glass to his wrist. I ran right over, and then I calmly asked him to give it to me. He was shaking a little, but he finally gave it to me.
Did you mean to do it, Levon?
No. I was trying to scare Layla. It worked. She decided not to break up with me.
Do you think fear is a good way to keep a relationship going?
Maybe. I'll let you know.
I'll save you the trouble. It doesn't work, so don't be stupid. Is that it?
No, there's more to it than that. Levon told me that he talked to his mother 2 days ago. I asked him what he meant by that because it was the first time he had mentioned her to me since he had told me she'd passed away over a year ago. I'm only bringing it up because when I asked him why he wanted to cut himself with a bottle, he said he was upset about Layla. And then, in the middle of the conversation, he said, I talked to my mom 2 days ago.
He talked to his mom? What the hell? Were you having a seance in class? I can't believe what I'm fucking hearing. What is this all about, Levon? You better have a good answer for me.
Why are you being so hostile?
I am not being hostile. I just want to know what the hell this is about. Talk to me now.
I went to her graveyard and I talked to her. What's the big deal?
If that's all it was, Levon, then why didn't you tell me that? You said your mother got in touch with you and that your nightmares were getting worse.
I thought I heard her voice in the cemetery, okay? I'm crazy. Now you know. I didn't want you to find out. There it is.
You're not crazy, Levon.
Maybe I'm the crazy one here, but it kind of sounds to me like you think Levon's not telling you the truth. Or else you think he's hiding something.
No, I don't think he's hiding anything.
I can tell you for a fact, Miss Miller, Levon was hit real hard when his mom died. And if he said he heard her voice calling him, then he heard her voice. And haven't you ever heard someone talking to you when they weren't really there?
Mr. Lyons, I don't believe Levon is lying. What concerns me is the reason or reasons why he tried to hurt himself. My grandfather has this saying. It went, if we thought we could keep an elephant from stinking, we would do it.
This woman is nuts.
Let me translate. It means that some things can never be changed as much as we would like to change them. But this situation can be changed. I strongly believe that. However, Levon shouldn't be expected to do it alone. He needs our help.
Dad, is it okay if I go see Layla for a little while? She wants to make up with me.
Yeah, all right. Just be back by 11. And tomorrow night, we're going to talk about this cemetery thing, huh?
Whatever.
Don't say whatever to me. Hey, look, just because I'm letting you see this girl doesn't mean that I'm happy right now. So you better start thinking about this because you've got some explaining to do. You got that?
Got it.
Huh? What was that?
I got it.
Good. Now, go tell this girl you're sorry you scared the shit out of her.
Good night, Levon.
Yeah, we'll see.
Levon exits.
I think it's better that I let him go see her instead of let him go to his room and think up new ways to kill himself, don't you?
I read in his file that he tried a few years ago and almost succeeded.
Yeah, that's true. The thing is, he did it with a piece of glass, and now every time things don't go his way, he finds a piece of glass and threatens to do it again. but he never has.
Well, even so, I think it suggests that he is either very seriously depressed or else something is really scaring him and he's crying out for help. Did you know he's been having nightmares again?
Is he? Well, we all have nightmares sometimes.
Yes, but well, what about him hearing voices?
Look, Miss Miller, I'm glad you're worried about Levon, and maybe I can put your mind at ease a little bit. See, it's like this. When you first get to know Levon, he seems a lot more messed up than he probably really is. It's like, let me put it this way. It's like when you have a tiny hole in your shirt and you never wear it to work because you're afraid your boss might see it, but he probably never will because it's so small. But you see it every time you look at it because you know where it is. So your eyes go right to that tiny spot. Now, you, Miss Miller, you see that hole in Levon. He's probably not as messed up as you think he is. You just know where to look to see where the hole is.
You're right. I do see a hole. But to my eyes, it is a big one.
Oh, yeah? How long have you known Levon?
Almost a year. I know I could never come close to knowing him like you know him, but I'll tell you what I do know. I know that he's a very smart, sweet young man, and believe me, I wouldn't say it if I didn't think it weren't true. I teach a lot of kids who are neither particularly smart nor sweet. And I think that if someone put a gun in the hands of each of my students and they all stood in line facing me, I'd have a pretty frightening looking firing squad. But Levon wouldn't be one of them.
No, you're right. He would never hurt anybody. And I really don't think he wants to hurt himself. Our lives got pretty freaky around the time of Kitty's death, but that's all past us now. He's fine.
Mr. Lyons, please forgive me for saying this, but can you really afford to be so complacent about this? Shouldn't we take every sign, every action, no matter how minimal it may appear on the surface, as a serious cry for help? I know I'm not reacting here. This is a very scary thing, isn't it? You're his father. Doesn't it scare you when he does things like this? I don't expect you to have all the answers, but I just want to hear that we're on the same side here, Levon's side.
You know, I guess you think I'm the biggest dumb fuck in the world because I live in this shitty duplex with a screwed up kid and a scary looking painting of his mother on the wall. But I'll tell you something. I am a hell of a lot smarter than you think. Now, before I decide whether or not to throw your prissy-ass briefcase out the window, let me tell it to you straight. I really love that screwed up kid out there.
I never
Let
doubted.
me finish. Now, he may just have a big hole in him like you think, but you have no right to come in here, drink my water, and try to lay some fucking big-ass guilt trip on me just because I don't think he was really going to bleed to death over some bipolar girl with a ring in her nose. I know my son, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that nothing else bad ever happens to him. So put that in your damn file. Now, please, just get the hell out of here and leave me alone.
She starts to pack up.
I'm sorry if I offended you. That was never my intention. I think I'm getting way too involved in this. I had a personal experience once that was similar to. I shouldn't be telling you this. What the hell is wrong with me? Whenever I decide to make these home visits, I either come on too strong or too opinionated, or else I start sounding like a goddamn textbook. Maybe I should just stay home, get drunk, and let everyone else deal with their own goddamn problems. Maybe if I do that, I can start dealing with my own.
Mickey rushes into the bathroom and brings out a roll of toilet paper.
Sorry, I'm out of tissues. Not that I ever had anybody to begin with, but I think this stuff works pretty well.
Thank you. This is that extra cushiony kind, isn't it?
Yeah. Levon won't use the hard stuff, and then he gets all backed up, and that's no good.
Really?
No. I'm kidding.
Where do I put this?
Just set it on the table.
I'm such an idiot.
Don't feel bad. My crazy dead wife used to tell me that all the time. I inspire stupidity.
Thanks. I feel much better now.
You know, I guess you've probably figured out I'm not exactly dad of the year here. All I'm trying to do is hang on to some kind of hope that everything's going to turn out okay. I know he seems like a weak kid who lets every stupid little thing crush him like a grape. Well, I'll tell you, he's already a crushed grape. But I ain't so bad being a crushed grape sometimes. I'm betting on wine.
Me too. Vintage. But I have to play devil's advocate here, as much as I really, really don't want to. Winemaking is a long, involved process, and unless you know exactly what you're doing, a crushed grape is sometimes just that, a crushed grape.
Oh, look at the time. I know we both have to get up early for work, so why don't I show you the door?
I'm going. Can we keep in touch over the next few days, Mr. Lyons, to monitor how Levon is doing?
Yeah, I guess. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Athena picks up her briefcase and exits.
Hi. Is this Layla's mom? Yeah, this is Mickey Lyons, Levon's dad. Hi, listen, is he over there? Yeah, I just heard about the Coke bottle thing. I'm really sorry. Did he tell Layla he was sorry? Okay, good. No, I don't want him thinking that I'm checking up on him. It just make things worse. Listen, before he walks home, could you maybe tell him he did the right thing? You know, apologizing. Thank you. It'll make him feel a little better. Okay. All right, thanks again. Bye.
The lights fade. Dream sequence 1, the prom date. On the rear screen, images of Lady M from the Scottish play can be seen as medieval warriors shoot arrows at her. She fights back, of course. The video game screen suddenly goes blank. Mickey and Kitty enter and sit as romantic music plays. They wait for Levon's prom date to arrive. Mickey answers the front door. It is Athena wearing a pale blue prom dress. They all greet each other cordially. Levon comes down the stairs wearing a rented tux. Athena gives Levon a boutonniere. He goes back upstairs. Mickey and Athena hug and exit. Levon comes downstairs with the corsage and sees that Athena and Mickey have left. Kitty takes Levon by the hand and they sit to watch TV. Levon is despondent. The lights fade with a circle on Levon, similar to an old school sitcom set ending. Act 1, Scene 2. Mickey is watching a basketball game on TV. The doorbell rings. He answers it. It is Athena. He slams the door in her face and sits back down. The doorbell rings again. Mickey answers it.
What you just did was very rude.
I know. That was my intention.
Well, at least you're honest. May I speak with you, please?
No.
Is Levon home?
No.
He and Layla must have patched things up. Does he go out every night?
Are you okay? You look like you're in a cold sweat. Maybe you better sit down.
Yeah, you're right. I am a little worked up. I apologize.
Little worked up.
Do you spend much time with Levon in the evenings?
Yeah, we spend several hours of intense quality time together, much of which is spent watching wrestling, but I make sure he does his homework. Anything else? I'm in the middle of something.
This won't take long. When do you expect Levon back?
Whenever I can raise bail.
Very funny. I hope he's having a good time.
He's not. Levon never has a good time. But I told him he could go over until 11:30. He always prolongs having a bad time for as long as he can. I know what they're doing, but it's better than doing that than spending the night robbing some convenience store. And I make sure he carries protection.
I see. Well, you can't always go the traditional route with kids like Levon. He's never done anything illegal, has he?
No. Unless you count the time when he was in public school and set the volleyball net on fire.
Wait, I remember reading something about that in his file. Why do you think he did that?
He was trying to serve and the ball didn't make it over the net. All the other kids started laughing at him, so he took out his lighter and torched the net. Alarm went off and everything. I asked him, why would you do such a crazy thing like that? Set a volleyball net on fire. He looks at me straight in the eyes and he says, it was in the way of the ball. Made perfect sense to me.
I can hear him saying that. He doesn't deal well with barriers. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, yeah. Do you think Levon has... This is a little embarrassing. Do you think he has a crush on me?
A crush? Do you want him to?
Well, it's all right if he does, but I just wanted to know what you thought because, well, it could affect how I talk to him about things. I don't want to send him any mixed messages since I encourage him to openly discuss things with me.
No, I do not think he has a crush on you. But don't take it too personally. I think he just knows you're out of his league. And he doesn't have a mom, so you're like it. Does that sound weird?
No, absolutely not. Well, good. I sure don't want to complicate things for him. You know, he's got an interesting name. Levon. Who gave it to him?
I did, after the Elton John song. His mother wanted to name him Leo. Leo Lyons? She finally agreed on Levon because all the letters in Leo are in Levon. I told you she was crazy.
I see. What do you think of Layla?
It's okay. I guess she was named after the Eric Clapton and Jim Gordon song.
Oh, no, sorry. I don't mean the name. I meant her. I don't think she's right for him.
Oh, me neither. Please tell him that. I tried, and then he threw a fork at me.
What did you do?
Threw it back at him.
Have you noticed anything about his behavior or things he's said, things he's done that might have seemed a little out of the ordinary?
You mean for Levon?
Yes. I'm asking because I haven't seen anything unusual besides what I already mentioned to you.
No. Wait. There is something. I almost mentioned it to you when you asked whether I thought he had a crush on you, but I didn't think anything of it. But when you said, has he done anything out of the ordinary? It's made me see a connection, maybe. I found a drawing in his room a few days ago. It's very obvious he drew it. He's a pretty good drawer, artist, whatever.
Oh, Mr. Lyons, I don't think that going through Levon's things and showing something so private like that would be the right thing to do. Do you think it would be?
Well, I think it might help you deal with him somehow. You know, see where his mind's at. It's a picture he made with colored pencils of you wearing Kitty's lion costume. I'll tell you right now, it's a hell of a lot better than this amateur picture on the wall that her asshole brother painted. Hey, wait a second, I'll go get it.
He rushes up the stairs.
Mr. Lyons, wait, I'm not going to look at it. You shouldn't be doing this.
She stands there for a second and then heads for the front door. Just as she is opening the door, Levon walks in.
Miss Miller, what are you doing here? You talking about me again?
I just came by to finish my talk with your father. I was about to leave, but because I have to go home and finish grading those essays you did in class today.
Oh, you don't have to grade mine. I can tell you it already sucks.
I'm sure that's not true at all, Levon. Mr. Lyons, Levon's home.
You seem really nervous, Miss Miller. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. It's just your father didn't expect you back so soon. He told me you would be over at Layla's for a while.
Yeah, that was the plan, but her mom had some guy over and she asked me to go home. Her mom did, not Layla. Just as well. Also, Layla's nose is infected from the new hole, and she's being a real bitch. I'm sorry. I know you hate that word. Slipped out.
I wonder why your dad didn't answer when I called upstairs.
Maybe he's in the bathroom. You can't hear anything when you're in there because the fan's so loud.
That must be it. Maybe I should go up there and knock on the door.
What's going on? What is he doing up there that you want me to know about?
Why do you think something is going on?
It's not obvious.
No, tell me, why do you think something is going on?
Because you want to go upstairs in my house and tell my dad that I'm home, so he won't come out of the bathroom doing whatever the hell he's doing. Oh, I know. Wait a minute. I know what it is.
Yeah, you do? What is it?
My dad's got some woman upstairs in his bedroom, and you came over and interrupted them, and now you don't want me to find out about it. Nah, don't worry, Miss Miller. He does this a lot. You don't have to protect me.
No, Levon, that's not it. Mr. Lyons, can you hear me?
Miss Miller, I've never seen you so whacked out before. Are you sure you're feeling all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Maybe I should just come clean. Your father is not upstairs with a woman right now.
Oh my God, really?
Oh, no, it's not what you're thinking. He's not upstairs with a man.
Oh, okay. I mean, if he is, I'd be okay with that. It would just be unexpected.
Well, yes, I assume it would be, but no, that's not it.
I'm going up there.
Levon starts to head up the stairs. Mickey starts to come down with the drawing. Levon sees it.
Levon, you're back.
Get the hell away from me.
It's not what you think. I just wanted Miss Miller to...
Get out of my way.
Don't talk to me like that.
Why? What? I don't have the right? Is that what you're gonna say? What the hell do I have the right, huh? What do I have the right to do? Do you expect me to slit my wrists if I feel like it? I don't know. I don't have the privacy to anything. You made that really clear lately. So just what the fuck do I have the right to do?
I don't know, son. I'm sorry.
Answer me.
Athena heads to the front door. She starts to get lightheaded and drops to the floor. Levon and Mickey come down the stairs and help her to the sofa.
Are you all right? Did you hurt yourself?
Yes, I'll be fine. I haven't been feeling 100% lately.
Your head's not warm.
I'll be fine. Really. I need to get home and lie down. Don't worry about me. Levon, your father didn't mean to hurt you. Please believe that.
Are you all right, Miss Miller?
Yes, don't worry about me. If I had the good sense to stay home tonight, maybe none of this would have happened.
It's not your fault.
No, it's not.
Why don't I drive you home?
No, then my car would be here. I just tripped on that step down to the foyer. I didn't twist an ankle, so I'm fine.
I thought you said you didn't feel well.
No, I'm fine, really. I think it would be good, Levon, if you and your dad talked without me here.
I can call for an Uber.
No, really, I'm fine.
All right, well, drive safely.
I will. Goodbye, Levon. Mr. Lyons.
She exits.
I was only going to show it to her because I thought she might be able to help you if there was...
You don't give a shit about me.
How can you say that? I'm the only person in the world you can even depend on.
I can depend on her.
I know how you feel about her. And we still need to talk about your little stunt you pulled yesterday at school. Hey, and what's this shit about you talking about your mom? What is all that about?
Babe, none of your business.
What the hell do you mean it's none of my business? That woman is only your teacher. I'm your father.
You're not my father.
That's not fair.
Fair? What the hell is fair, huh? What is fair?
Stop.
He goes into a rage and throws everything on the coffee table onto the floor.
Is that fair? Is this fair?
Levon runs over to the painting of Kitty and takes it off the wall. He takes a pocket knife out of his pocket and threatens to slash the painting.
Is this fair? Tell me. If it is, then I won't do it. Tell me.
Levon, please. Put the knife down, please. That's your mother. Let me have the knife. It's okay. It's not fair, but slashing your picture is not going to change anything, okay? Please, just let me have the knife.
Mickey puts his arm around Levon and holds out his hand for the knife. Levon breaks down and hands Mickey the knife. Mickey drops it and leads Levon over to the sofa and sits him down.
It's okay, son. It's okay.
I hate her.
She called you, didn't she? She was the friend you said was in some kind of danger. Has Milo been pushing her around again?
She said he's been hurting her and she's trying to figure out a way to get away from him.
God, Levon, I'm so sorry. I told her never to call you again and scare you like that.
When did you talk to her?
About 6 months ago. I called her after she asked you to come live with her and that whatever he is. She sounded so fucked up. She might not even have known who she was talking to. But then when she didn't call right back, I figured she got the message. If she shows up here, Levon, I want you to call me right away. Do you understand?
Why?
We can't have her screwing up our lives again. You don't want her to move back in here, do you? I mean, that's what you said the last time this happened, remember?
Yeah. No, I don't want her to live here. I don't want him to hurt her, though.
I know. I don't want that either, but Mom's pretty tough. If anyone can handle the troll man, it's Kitty.
Yes, I gotta get out of here.
Levon exits.
Levon, where are you going? Levon! Oh, fuck.
He puts the painting of Kitty back on the wall.
Shit, Kitty. What am I gonna do with you?
Lights fade. Dream sequence 2, the striptease. On the rear scrim, we see Lady M trying to wash out her damp spots, but every time she does, someone slashes her hands, causing her to scream. Lights fade on the scrim and come up on the living room. Kitty appears at the top of the stairs wearing her lion costume. Mickey is sitting on the sofa and Milo is sitting on the chair. They are both watching Kitty's act. She starts to come down the stairs and takes off her gloves. She throws one glove to Mickey and one to Milo. Levon enters through the front door with a bouquet of roses. He stands by the door watching Kitty unzip her costume in the back with her back to the audience. She turns around and sees Levon and stops dancing. Milo gets up and sticks a dollar bill in the cleavage of her costume. Kitty takes Milo by the hand and leads him out the front door. Mickey and Levon look at each other, not knowing what to do. Act 1, Scene 3. The sound of the front door being unlocked is heard, and Kitty enters. She looks tired. Her hair is disheveled. She is not wearing makeup. She wears a trench coat and is carrying a suitcase. She sets the suitcase down and sits on the sofa. Kitty, we cannot hear you. There.
Anybody home? Well, this place hasn't changed any.
She picks up her suitcase and goes upstairs. A few minutes later, Levon enters. He is vaping. He sits down and takes off his shoes. He gets up and exits into the kitchen. He re-enters a moment later with a soda. He lies down on the sofa and closes his eyes. A few more seconds pass, and Kitty comes downstairs wearing her stripper cat suit. Levon opens his eyes. He is very startled.
Hello, Levon.
Mom?
Yes, it's your mom. I know, this is unexpected. You look great, baby.
You didn't tell me you were coming back when you called?
Yeah, well, I would have, but I didn't know when I called you the other day that I'd be coming. The only thing I did know then was that I would be going.
You look tired, Mom.
Ugh, Levon, I am so tired. And I've missed you like you wouldn't believe. Do you hate me?
Yes. No. Sometimes.
Oh, honey, so do I. Sometimes I hate me so much, but I love you. And you know that, don't you, honey?
No.
Well, how have you been?
I'm having nightmares again.
Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. Let's sit down and talk about it.
Where have you been, Mom? I don't understand why you can never tell me. When you called me the other day, you sounded really scared. I thought you might be in some kind of trouble.
Ugh, it's a long, horrible story, honey. I don't know where to start.
Why are you wearing your uniform?
Ooh, baby, I have good news. Chuck gave my old job back. I start back tonight.
Just like that?
Just like that. Aren't you happy for me?
I don't know. Are you gonna ask me about how Dad is doing?
How's he doing?
How do you think? You haven't talked to him since you left with that disgusting troll man. We've been telling people you died, so nobody will ask questions about you. How would you expect him to be?
I know he hurts, but we weren't getting along too well before I left, if you remember.
Oh, so I guess now you think you'll get along.
No, not at first, but
Mom, I think he likes another woman.
oh. Well, I should have expected that. Who is she?
My teacher.
You're kidding.
Yes, Mom, I am. This is all a bad dream, and I'm gonna wake up soon. Screaming.
Oh, honey. Are you still getting the pills from Dr. Weston?
Yes.
That's good. Can I have one?
Are you serious?
Yes. And I wouldn't ask you, but Milo flushed mine down the toilet, and I haven't been able to see a doctor for months.
So you're saying the troll man doesn't believe in psychiatry?
Ugh, the troll man doesn't believe in anything except guns, knives, Fellini films, and sex.
Where is the troll man now?
He's tied up to his toilet.
What?
Yeah. Yesterday, I found a few tranquilizers on the floor. See, that bastard won't let me take anything, but it looks like he's got a good supply for himself. Well, I'll tell you, Levon, I was so mad I could have killed him, but I got smart instead. I knew he'd have to have a lot of them hidden someplace, so I looked all around the apartment and I found a whole bottle stashed in his movie camera where the film goes.
Mhm.
So I took one for myself. And I could have kept some more, but instead I chopped up the rest of them for him, including the two that were on the bathroom floor. And I put them in his deviled ham for supper.
So you drugged him and you tied him to the toilet?
Yes, I did. I tied him up with the rope he uses for sex scenes in his movies. I didn't give him enough to OD on, but he'll be surprised when he wakes up.
That is so cool.
Well, thanks. So what's your teacher's name?
Athena Miller. Don't you think he's gonna come back looking for you?
Well, yes. So, baby, I can't stay here. I just came to get the costume that I left here and to see you, of course. And I'm going to go stay with Gloria.
But won't he find you at the club?
Of course. But Chuck will break his legs if he tries to hurt me. And he doesn't know where Gloria lives. So I'll stay there long enough to earn some money, get a lawyer, and then put him away.
Put him away for what?
Kitty
Oh,
shows him an ugly scar on her arm.
you see the scar? Yeah, this is where Milo cut me.
Shit, Mom, I'll kill that motherfucker.
Oh, no. Don't you worry about it, baby. I called Gloria and she told me she knows a chief lawyer. And then she talked to Chuck and got me my old job back and said I could stay with her. I'm calling her Saint Gloria. So please don't worry about me, honey. Everything's going to work out for the best. I hated that crummy waitress job I had in St. Louis. Milo wouldn't let me strip. And it didn't take me long to find out the big business he was in wasn't in office products, but pornographic films. I mean, he does sell office products, but that's just a front, of course. So I'm feeling optimistic now that I'm away from him, finally. But I do think I need something to take the edge off a bit because my nerves are starting to surface now that this excitement is over.
Mom, you're in deep shit.
Yeah, I know. And not only that, he stole almost all my money. He said he was just borrowing it to pay for the production costs of his low-budget sleaze, but I haven't gotten one nickel back yet. And I know he's made a nice little profit. So that's the last time I financed a movie with a title like Fellatio where Horatio. It's really good to see you, baby. Now, can I have one of your pills, please?
Yeah, sure.
Levon exits into the kitchen to get a pill and some water.
So this place looks the same.
He enters with a pill and a glass of water.
Yep, still dumb.
He gives them to her.
Thank you, baby. So this teacher of yours, she hasn't moved in and cleaned the place up?
No, they're not actually going out. I just, I get this vibe that they like each other. Yeah. I haven't talked about it either to either of them because it's pretty weird.
Well, you don't have to tell me about weird. I'll tell you, baby, my life has been real weird my whole life. Mostly, though, I could have avoided some of the weirdness if I'd been looking ahead. It's like when you're driving and you hit a speed bump real hard. See, most people either see it coming and slow down, or else they drive around it if they can. And I always hit that damn bump straight on, and there goes my alignment. I mean, not that my alignment was ever adjusted correctly in the first place. Up here.
Yeah, I know how that feels. Sort of. Yeah, I haven't even gotten my driver's license yet. So what do I tell the troll man when he comes looking for you?
I'm not sure. Maybe, I guess, tell him you haven't seen me. I'm sorry you have to lie, but he's a dangerous man, so if you do happen to see him, please be careful.
What do I tell Dad?
Oh, it's probably best to tell him the same thing.
Why?
Well, it's like this. Some people just don't appreciate the tragedy in certain things, and your dad's one of those people.
Do you still love him?
Oh, your dad? No, honey, not really. Not like when I tried to when I was living here. God, I tried so hard to love him. I would have climbed a steep hill to love that man if I thought it would have helped.
Not a mountain?
No, I never loved him that much.
Oh, okay.
Oh, baby. I never meant to mess up your life when I was messing up mine. My life has been a mixed assortment of nuts I never really meant to crack.
It's going to be hard not to tell Dad.
I know, but I think it's best for right now. Until I can sort things out in this beehive I've got for a brain. Sometimes I think my brain has a mind of its own.
That doesn't make sense, Mom.
My point exactly. Well, bye, sweetie. Oh, wish me luck.
Good luck. Mom?
Yeah, babe.
Why do you have to be a stripper?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Because it's fun. See you later, sweetheart.
Careful out there.
I will.
She exits. Levon starts to pace around the room.
Hey, Layla. It's me. Hey, can I come over? Yeah. I'll be right there.
He hangs up, gets his jacket, goes over to the little wooden box on the coffee table, takes out a condom, puts it in his pocket, and rushes out. Lights fade. Dream sequence 3, baby Mickey. Mickey is sitting in an adult-sized high chair, wearing only a diaper and a bib. Athena is wearing a prom dress with an apron over it. She is feeding Mickey baby food. Levon comes downstairs, holding his left wrist tightly. There is blood dripping down his arm. Mickey and Athena do not notice him. Kitty rushes down the stairs. She is wearing her lion costume. Levon tries to get her attention. She exits out the front door. Levon stands there for a few minutes, then goes back upstairs. Athena continues to feed Mickey. A few more seconds pass, and then a gunshot is heard from upstairs. Mickey starts to cry. Athena goes back to feeding Mickey. Act 1, Scene 4. Levon and Athena are sitting in the living room. It is Tuesday afternoon.
Listen, I don't want to discuss what happened Friday night. That's what you and my so-called dad just can't seem to get through your heads. I want to be left alone. I have a therapist, so I really wish the rest of you would let him do what he's paid to do. Please.
Levon, I thought that you understood that I was asking your father questions because it's part of my job to check on you and
I know it's cool, but I don't I don't get what I don't get is why you let him go up to my room and get that drawing to show to you.
I tried to stop him. I really did.
It was a joke. The drawing of you. I drew it to show to Layla what you would look like as a stripper. Hope it didn't bother you.
Bother me. No, it didn't. In fact, I was very impressed by your artistic ability. I had no idea you could draw like that.
You are?
Absolutely. You know me. I can't even draw a stick man in that hangman game we play.
Yeah. I draw okay. That's besides the point. Where does he get off? Going in my room and embarrassing the crap out of me. It shows you. It shows you what he thinks of me.
Yes, it does. It shows me that he cares the world for you. Look at it this way. If your dad didn't care about you at all, would he even bother to try to find something out like that?
Maybe not. But he could ask me things like you do. It's like he's a cop looking for some illegal paraphernalia. Which I don't have, by the way.
Well, he never said anything to me that he suspected you doing something like that. And anyway, I don't think he did the appropriate thing in this case, but I do think he did it because he cares.
And that's supposed to make it right?
No, I didn't say that.
Then it was wrong.
In a way, yes, it was.
In a way, what are you talking about? There's right and there's wrong, right?
Yes, Levon, that's true. But there's also this whole spectrum. It's like a spectrum of light, and it spreads itself out between right and wrong. Some people like to call it shades of gray, and I prefer to think of it as a rainbow.
So what you're telling me is my dad flew into my room on a rainbow and took my drawing to save me from myself. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't think I'm getting through to you.
Yeah, don't feel bad, Miss Miller. You want to be the first I've tried.
Maybe we should talk about something else. How have you been sleeping lately? Are you still having nightmares?
Yep. You want to know something really weird, though?
What's that?
I kind of like them.
You do?
Yeah, it's kind of like watching a horror movie. Like, the only thing that scares me is I remember my mom used to tell me that she started to get used to her nightmares. She used to say, you're in trouble when you'd rather live in your nightmares than in real life.
Is that how you feel, Levon?
No, I don't want to live in my nightmares. It's just that in the beginning of them, sometimes you think you do. It sucks because they always start out, being really awesome, but then sooner or later they get all fucked up.
You have to say that word.
No, I don't have to. I just like to.
Well, I'd like it if you didn't.
Do you have to act like a teacher all the time?
No, I don't. But I know what you mean about the nightmares starting out awesome, though. I've had those kind when you wake up straight in bed and you're in a cold sweat. It's really scary. It's not a whole lot better being awake, is it? Because it's pitch black in your room and you feel like you're totally alone in the world. Is that how it feels to you?
Yeah, exactly. Did you see a therapist too, Miss Miller?
No, but I have in the past. I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but when I was going through some rough times, I went to one. Do your meds help with your nightmares?
Dr. Wesson actually says my pills might be causing my nightmares. He said they can be a side effect. He doesn't know what the hell to do.
Well, I hope you can get it all straightened out.
Don't hold your breath. Are you okay now?
Yes. Do you mean, am I through that rough period I was talking about?
Yeah, because like Friday night when you started to pass out.
I did feel a little dizzy. That happens sometimes when I'm under a lot of stress, like I was at that moment.
Can I ask you a really personal question, Miss Miller?
Sure. I may not answer you, but you can ask.
Well, I think I need to because people at school have been talking about you, and I don't think it's right to do it behind your back.
What have people been saying?
This is kind of hard, but it has to do with your hair.
My hair? What have they been saying about my hair?
Nothing bad. They just say that maybe you've been wearing a wig lately.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just that sometimes if you do, it kind of gets crooked.
it does?
It's not crooked now. They've also been saying that. Never mind.
No, Levon, tell me what have they been saying?
Some people think you might have cancer.
Yes, Levon, I do.
Are you gonna die?
I don't know. It's a possibility.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I almost died once, but it was my fault. I cut my wrist like I did the other day, but it went a lot deeper.
I'm sorry.
You are. It was my fault.
Remember that rainbow I was talking about, Levon?
Yeah. Can I ask you another personal question?
Sure.
How do you deal with your nightmares?
Well, good question. I guess I wait until the morning and say to myself, the nightmare is over, the sun is out, and I'm okay for the time being. Because that's as much as any one of us can say ever.
I see what you mean.
But I don't mean to make it sound like an aphorism you might find hanging on someone's bathroom wall. It's something I'm still working on. I keep having this recurring nightmare that it doesn't have an ending, and I think that's why it's so scary. I'm sitting on a bench in a park, and I'm wearing a hospital gown, and I'm hooked up to an IV. My hair is completely fallen out. People start coming up to look at me, and they're all behind a plate of glass. Then this little girl walks up. She takes my hand and starts leading it through her long black hair. And that's where it always ends.
Who's the little girl?
I don't know. I don't recognize her.
Well, I always know the people in my nightmares. I think that's why they're so scary. Like how yours are scary because they don't have any endings.
She's got long black hair like I had when I was little, but she doesn't look like me. Well, maybe a little bit.
Maybe it's in the future and she's your daughter.
Oh my God. I think you've hit on something, Levon. I won't be able to have children because of the type of cancer I have. Maybe I'm dreaming about what I can't have.
You can't have kids?
No.
I'm sorry.
Thanks. You know, you are extremely perceptive. Do you think a lot about what your own dreams might mean?
I try. Sometimes they make sense, but they're usually just weird.
I know what you mean. I'm glad we had this talk. Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine. How about you?
Yeah, I'll be fine too.
Do you ever take the wig off? Like, like, do you ever not wear it?
No, I could never. I mean, I'm not ashamed of it, but at school.
No, I don't mean at school.
You mean like to the grocery store?
Yeah.
I guess I'm self-conscious about people staring at me.
Like in your nightmare.
Right. One of these days I'm gonna do it. It might take an earthquake to knock it off, but I think it's something I eventually need to face. Hey, when does your dad usually get home?
In an hour. Why?
Just curious. What do you say we go get an ice cream cone?
You don't have to babysit me, Miss Miller. I'm not gonna do anything.
I know, I just think we both could use a banana split. My treat.
All right, if it'll make you feel better.
It will.
They exit. Lights fade. Dream sequence 4, the circus act. A video game is projected on the rear screen. Lady M is running from trolls. Her hands are now missing. She gets hit and falls, but she bounces back up and keeps running. Athena enters and lies down on the sofa. She is wearing a hospital gown. Mickey comes downstairs with 3 juggling balls. Levon enters through the front door with a bunch of balloons with pictures of cartoon animals, reminiscent of the song Levon by Elton John and Bernie Taupin. He gives the balloons to Athena. Calliope music begins to play. Levon sits by her and feels her forehead. He then exits into the kitchen to get her a glass of water. As soon as he is out of the room, Milo Tucker enters from the bathroom. He is dressed as a lion tamer and has a whip in his hand. He comes and tries to save her. They all freeze in time, except for Mickey, who continues to juggle. End of Act 1.
Intermission. Please note that it is only 15 seconds in the video.
Act 2, Scene 1. The doorbell rings. Mickey is sitting on the sofa watching a basketball game. He is drinking a beer. He turns off the TV, goes to the door, and opens it.
Hi,
Hello.
come on in.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
That's funny. I was going to ask you the same question.
Really? Why?
There seems to be some confusion here, I think. You didn't ask Levon to ask me to come over tonight to discuss something important?
What? No, I didn't. I was just sitting here watching the basketball game. I never told Levon to tell you anything.
So there's nothing important to discuss.
Not that I know of.
What do you know? Mr. Lyons, as the kids like to say, I think we've been played.
What? You think Levon set this up?
Yes, I do.
Why would he do something like that? He never lies like that.
No, but I think he did it so that we could get together.
Why would he do that?
This is so awkward. I think that now that he's dating this older woman he met who works in the movie theater and he really seems to like her a lot, I think that maybe he wants us to, get together.
You mean get together as in get together?
Mr. Lyons, you aren't making any of this any easier.
I'm sorry. This is all really new to me. I can be kind of dense sometimes. Please have a seat.
Levon is out with Joni tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, at least that's what he told me. Now I'm not so sure. All I really know about this girl is that she's 22 and she's a blonde.
That's about all I know too, and she doesn't have any kids. I asked.
Oh, good. Well, I was afraid to.
She doesn't. Oh, I need to ask you something. Did he happen to mention to you that I have...
Yes, he did. I'm very sorry. What kind of,
Oh, you're really asking
I'm
me.
sorry. I'm sorry. I should just mind my own business.
No, it's fine. It's cervical.
I'm very sorry. How are you doing?
Okay. For the time being.
So, your name is Athena.
Yes, that's right.
Athena. Ah, it sounds like you should be out on a barge at sea with I don't know, a shiny metal dome on your head, bearing your breasts for all the warriors coming home, and all the warriors have been turned into animals or statues or something.
Your knowledge of Greek mythology is impressive.
Oh, thanks. It's funny how people try to set you up with someone, isn't it?
I used to think it was such a waste of time. But finding the right person is so difficult. Maybe it's not such a bad idea sometimes.
Well, have you ever been married?
Yes, once. It didn't work out.
I know this is none of my business, but I hope he wasn't mean to you or something like that.
Oh no, nothing like that. It's difficult to say why our marriage didn't work out. I think basically I divorced Patrick because, well, we weren't traveling in the same circus.
You were in a circus.
No, it's a saying Grandma used to use. She and my grandpa met working in a circus.
Oh, I see. And you didn't follow in their footsteps.
No, I didn't. Although sometimes I think that maybe it would have been fun, but it's cruel to the animals. So, anyway, as my grandma explained it to me, a man and a woman can only be married to each other if they are traveling in the same circus, metaphorically speaking. They can have different jobs in the circus, though. For instance, the husband might be a clown or a lion tamer or a tightrope walker. The wife might be a trapeze artist or sitting on an elephant wearing a beautiful costume with feathers in her hair. But the catch is this: they've got to be in the same circus under the same tent. Otherwise, and I quote my grandma here, the marriage will last about as long as cotton candy once it's in your mouth, and you'll be left with no one to help you shell your peanuts.
That's really weird that you just said all that.
I know, but I didn't think it up. Grandma did. She was a clown. Literally. So was Grandpa. They really had it made because they had the same job in the same circus. Mama said the real reason their marriage lasted was because even when they got older, they could still look the same way they did when they got married, even if they did have to wear really big shoes and green hair.
That's wild. Anyway, I didn't think the story was what was weird. What was weird was I thought you were talking to me for a minute when you said being married was like being a lion tamer.
Oh, you mean because your wife wore a lion costume?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I felt sometimes like she was a lion in a way. She'd become like this beast.
I can relate. Patrick could be rather unpleasant sometimes, too.
Really? Well, Kitty would put on that nutty costume for work, and sometimes when she got home, she'd turn into this horrible creature. Sometimes it was because of the booze, sometimes it wasn't. You know, she could be as sweet as a kitten 1 minute, and the next, she'd bite your fucking head off.
So what you're saying is you felt like you had to tame her.
No, not really. I mean, can't really tame Kitty. I was just fending for my life.
I'm so sorry. That must have been difficult. Sounds like you were sparring it out in the center ring, so to speak. Did you ever consider counseling?
Been there. Now, let me just tell you what this so-called marriage counselor actually said to us. She said, love is like a twisted up rope. If you keep it twirled tight, you might just get a bunch of knots. But then if you loosen a strand or two, you're not going to be able to climb it. You'll just be stuck at the bottom.
Interesting theory. Did she offer any solutions on how to get to the top of the rope?
No, not really. She just said that when one of us was loosening, the other should be tightening, kind of like working or weaving together. I don't know what the hell she was trying to say. We didn't go back after that. I like the circus thing better.
Thank you. It's probably a more realistic theory, albeit next to impossible to achieve.
I wanted to run off and be in the circus when I was a kid. I never did, of course, but I learned how to juggle. I was juggling champion of Essex County when I was 14.
Seriously? Well, you're going to have to prove it to me. You know that.
Sure, but I'm a little rusty. My dad taught me. He was never a clown, though. I mean, he learned how in prison.
I won't ask.
Good. You'd be here all night. I think I got some lemons I can juggle.
He exits into the kitchen and comes back with 3 lemons. Mickey starts to juggle the lemons with skillful ease.
Very impressive. My grandpa wasn't even that good.
Oh, thanks. I haven't done this in years.
It appears as though you do it every day.
Once I get going, I can usually keep them up there for a while until I get tired or something breaks my concentration.
Kitty enters without knocking. She is wearing a trench coat. Mickey drops the lemons the moment he sees her.
Hello, Mickey. This is a bad time, isn't it?
It is now.
Hello. Would you happen to be my son's teacher? He told me I might run into you here, so.
Yes, I'm Levon's teacher. And so, you are his mother.
I'm afraid so.
Kitty takes off her coat to reveal her lion costume and casually sits in a chair.
Excuse me, Kitty, but you don't live here anymore, or did you forget?
No, I remembered. That one just started juggling again. He's really cute, isn't he?
Why are you wearing that lion thing? Is this really happening, or am I in one of Levine's nightmares all of a sudden?
May I tell you something, Mrs. Lyons?
What's that, sweetie?
I heard a horrible rumor about you. Not just from your son, but from your husband as well.
Oh, I hope it wasn't true.
No, it wasn't. I heard that you died of meningitis.
Really? What's that?
It's a highly contagious and potentially fatal virus. It's not something you want to get.
Yeah, doesn't sound like it.
I'm glad to see you're okay.
Well, I don't know how okay I am, but I'm alive.
That's a good way to be. I think I'll be leaving now, Mrs. Lyons. I'm sure you and your husband have a great deal to discuss.
I didn't know anything about Kitty being here.
Let me give you some advice, Mr. Lyons.
Can I just explain?
No! Let me talk. You've already said more than enough. Now, it's one thing to sneak around in your son's room for things because you're worried about his state of mind. It's quite another thing to lie about someone being dead when they're not, because the sad part is it just might happen, and I don't care who it is. If they're alive, that's a very precious thing, and the least you could do is acknowledge that fact, because I don't care if someone has just moved away for good or is fighting for her life in some hospital that if she's alive, no one has the right to negate her existence. No one. Because someday, Mr. Lyons, the shoe just might be on the other foot and you might not like the way it fits.
It's okay, honey. I actually don't mind if he told people I was dead. A lot of the time I felt like I was, so.
I know the feeling.
Oh.
It was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you too. Oh, how's Levon doing in school?
He's doing just fine. For the time being.
Hmm.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again.
Athena exits, slamming the front door.
Well, aren't you going to give your dead wife a hug? Guess not. Okay, well, hey, I found this costume the other day in your closet with the rest of my clothes. You were sweet not to throw them away. Remember this one, Mick? You used to call this my man lion costume. You said all the feminine parts were underneath where they belong. Remember? You always had such a way with words.
Go to hell.
No, I've been there already, and I'm not going back.
What are you doing here, Kitty?
I came to talk to you. Is that okay? I'm sorry I didn't call first, but I figured it would be just as shocking to hear my voice as it is to see me, so I figured I'd zip on over here. I'm staying with Gloria. Sorry I interrupted your date. She's kind of cute. Doesn't seem like your type, though.
Oh, yeah? Why do you say that? Because she doesn't take her clothes off for a living? It wasn't a date. Levon's trying to set us up.
That's a good one, Mick. Wait, no, he's not.
Believe what you like. Where's the troll man? You weren't stupid enough to bring him here with you, were you?
No. I kicked him to the curb, as Gloria would say. But if you happen to see him around, tell him I died of that awful disease. What did she call it?
Meningitis.
Yeah, that. So how did you ever come up with that one?
The Learning Channel. So he's looking for you? Is Levon in danger here?
Don't be so dramatic, Mickey. Hey, what does that wife have to do to get a drink around here?
You smell like you've already had a couple.
All right, I had one slow gin fizz at the club, and this is my night off. I'm entitled. God, I'm so fucking tired of people accusing me of things all the time.
What did I ever see in you?
You saw two things I seem to recall. And if you hate me so much, how come my portrait's still on the wall, Mickey?
You were dead. If I'd taken it down, people would have gotten suspicious.
Oh. I missed you, Mick. We had a lot of good times those 14 years. Be honest, didn't we?
I've missed the good times, but I do not miss you.
Oh, but without me, there would have been no good times. So, you see how that works?
Yeah, the day you walked out that door, I felt like the biggest dumb fuck in the world because I knew the kind of woman you were the day I married you.
Oh.
But the thought that I had to think about it. Levon, he needed a father. Well, he's got one, with or without a mother. Yeah, we had some good times, but I'm a big boy now, and I don't need a girl and a G-string anymore to pump up my ego, or anything else for that matter.
He takes the painting off the wall.
I left this up here for Levon, but since he tried to slash it the other day, I don't think he's too crazy about it either.
He throws it out into the front yard.
Yeah. Thank you, Mickey. That was a real classy thing to do.
So, what'd he do to you? Had to be something for you to come back here.
Why do you say that? Can't I just miss my son?
You would think. But something happened. I know you.
Well, then you know how much I love my son.
Yeah, enough to leave him and run off with that scum. You are never getting him back. You know that?
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure. He's my son, remember?
I am going to give you 3 seconds to get the hell out of my house. And if you're still here when your time is up, I am going to physically remove you.
You promise?
Mickey waits 3 seconds and Kitty doesn't budge. He picks her up and heads for the front door.
Oh, my lion tamer!
Levon walks through the front door.
Hi, sweetie. What you been up to?
Levon rushes upstairs. Mickey puts Kitty down and follows Levon upstairs.
Levon, it's not what you think. God, now look what you've done.
Oh, thought I was doing something nice.
She shrugs and crosses to a cabinet, takes out a glass and a bottle of bourbon, and pours herself a drink.
Now, why couldn't he have done that?
Kitty sits. Athena enters without ringing the doorbell.
Hello again?
Hi. I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes, if that's all right with you.
Sure. I'd tell you to come on in, but I see you already are. You want a drink?
No, thank you.
You sure? You kind of look like you could use one.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing, sweetie. Nothing at all.
Where'd your husband go?
Upstairs. I'm sorry you're pissed off at him. He didn't mean any harm. He's really a sweetheart.
Frankly, Mrs. Lyons, you're the one I really don't like right now.
Oh, I see. Well then, if that's the case, let me tell it to you straight, honey. I'm not going to give him up that easy, so be that as it may, I guess you have good reason not to like me.
What are you talking about? I'm not after your husband.
Who are you after? My son?
Excuse me?
I wasn't just born last month, I see what you're trying to do here. You're very transparent, as my good friend Gloria would say.
And what am I trying to do?
You're trying to take my place as his mother.
Take your place as his? You're insane. Do you know that?
Okay, hey, lady, look, I might be a lot of things, but I'm not insane. And people have been trying to pin that one on me my whole life. But I wouldn't be sitting here with you drinking bourbon out of a dirty water glass if I was. I'd be drinking bourbon out of a ceramic mug that I made in a psychiatric unit somewhere. That's what I'd be doing. Okay?
Hey, just because you haven't been there doesn't mean you haven't ever needed to be.
Well, I must say that is a very bold thing to say to one of the, mothers of one of your students. Or do you even have any other students? Tell me something. Do you make these kind of house calls to every kid you try to teach? Because it must not leave too much time for a social life.
I make home visits to whomever needs the most help at any given time. And so therefore, Levon, thanks to your splendid parenting, needs as much help as he can possibly get.
Is that so? Well, look, lady, I don't think you really want to go there with me unless you have some children of your own, and you don't, do you?
You're right. I don't want to go there with you.
Oh, but why not? Do you have children or don't you? That's not a trick question.
It's none of your damn business.
Oh, let me guess. You had an abortion once. Is that it?
No, I'm leaving. I don't know why I thought I could talk rationally to you about Levon. Goodbye.
She starts to leave.
Wait. Why do you want to talk to me about Levon? You said he was doing fine in school.
Fine for now. But what about tomorrow, Mrs. Lyons? Has that thought ever crossed your fuzzy little mind? Or do you even give a shit?
Okay, fuzzy little mind. You little bitch.
I'm sorry I said that. People like you bring out the worst in me.
Okay.
I'm going now.
People like me. So it's a superiority thing that makes you think that you got the right to steal my son and husband away from me. Is that it?
I'm not trying to steal your son and husband.
You never answered my question. Do you have a child or don't you? Because if you don't have the fucking clue what it's like raising a kid like Levon. Not one fucking clue.
Yes, I do have a clue. My little brother committed suicide when he was Levon's age.
I'm sorry. But forgive me for saying this, but it's harder when it's your own kid.
My brother David was like my own child. My mother died of cancer when I was 6 years old, so my dad and I had to raise David together. He was only 3 at the time. When he was 14, he got diabetes. He had always been very fragile emotionally, and so one day he took the necktie I had given him for his 15th birthday the day before. It was his first necktie, and along with a couple of Dad's ties, he hanged himself in Dad's walk-in closet. I found him there just 1 week before my graduation from high school.
I am so sorry.
Me too.
Kitty crosses to Athena and gives her a long hug. Levon comes downstairs. It is obvious he has been listening to their conversation.
Levon, I didn't know you were here.
Levon crosses to her. Kitty backs away. He gives Athena a hug.
Look at the time. I better be going, or else Gloria might think the worst. Goodbye, Levon.
Bye.
He is still hugging Athena when he tells Kitty goodbye.
I love you, baby.
He does not answer her. Kitty exits with Levon still embracing Athena. The lights fade.
Dream sequence 5, the dinner.
Mickey is lighting a candle on the coffee table for a romantic candlelit dinner. Athena enters wearing a few pieces of Kitty's lion costume. She sits beside Mickey and they sip wine. Kitty enters from the kitchen with 2 frozen dinners, wearing an apron that reads, Kitty's Kitchen. She serves the dinners and then exits into the kitchen. Mickey and Athena eat their Salisbury steaks and look at each other lovingly. Levon comes down from his bedroom and sits on the stairs to watch the action. Athena starts to choke on the steak. Mickey tries to give her the Heimlich maneuver, but they fall backwards. Levon stands, but is unable to move. Athena passes out. Mickey goes back to eating his steak. Kitty rushes out of the kitchen without the apron, takes the pieces of her lion costume off of Athena, and exits. Act 2, Scene 2. Levon is dancing around the room to music on his phone. With his back to the front door, he does not notice Kitty enter. He eventually turns and sees his mother, who has been dancing behind him.
Hello, baby.
Why don't you ever knock?
Because I still have a key.
How long have you been standing there?
Just a few moments. You're a good dancer, you know that.
Don't even think about it.
Think about what?
You're going to tell me how to be one of those male strippers.
I would never do that. What kind of mother do you think I am?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Anyway, you're too young to be a male stripper.
What do you want?
Why do I have to want anything? Can't I just stop by to see my son?
Yeah, I guess so. It's not something you've ever done before. So kind of new to me.
I know, sweetie. So, how have you been?
Why?
Why are you so defensive? I just want to know how you're doing. Is that so terrible?
No, if it's the truth.
You have something on your mind, don't you? You want to ask me something, and instead of just asking me, you've made up your mind to be hostile instead. Now, tell me, baby, what's on your mind? I know you're angry with me, and with good reason, but you've got to tell me what's on your mind, or else it's going to eat at me, and I won't be able to perform tonight.
Well, I sure wouldn't want that to happen.
What is it, baby? You can talk to me about anything. Tell me what's bothering you.
You want to know what's bothering me? Have you got about 10 years?
No, but I got a couple hours. So please, honey, talk to me. It's been such a long time since you and me really talked about things.
All right. I just want to know one thing and then I'll never bring it up again.
Sounds serious. Maybe I better sit down.
All I want to know is, what did you ever see in him?
Oh, in Milo, you mean?
Yeah.
You want the truth?
No, Mom, I want you to lie to me.
What did I see in him? All right, Levon, I'll tell you. Recklessness.
And this is a good thing?
To me, it was at the time.
Which time?
Both times. Honey, I know I was crazy out of my mind to go away with him like I did, but I just had to get away. It really wasn't your dad's fault. I just was feeling so trapped, so boxed up without any air holes. And Milo was, well, he was just this guy from my past that I had a connection with. And yes, his reckless attitude was so dangerously exciting for me. Your father, God love him, was boring the hell out of me. I don't expect you to understand how I felt back then, sweetie. It's just that, I don't know, I needed...
You don't expect me to understand because I'm 16, or you don't expect me to understand because what you did made absolutely no sense?
Both, I guess.
No. Don't you know why I did it? Why I cut myself?
No. Why did you do it, sweetheart?
You don't have a clue, do you?
No, I guess I don't. I've thought about it a zillion times, though, baby. That morning, I told you were going to be late for school, and you came down those stairs with blood just dripping down your arm like cherry Kool-Aid. That's what I thought it was at first. It's not funny. I thought you had taken some cherry Kool-Aid up to your room and spilt it down your arm. I mean, why on earth would a 14-year-old boy open up his veins like that? And the thought never crossed my mind. But then I could smell it. And that's how I knew for sure, because it didn't smell like cherry Kool-Aid. And I was so scared. You have no idea, baby. And that what scared me so much was not seeing the blood. That was bad enough. What really frightened me was not knowing why I was seeing it.
You still really don't know why, do you?
I know what you told me, but that doesn't seem like a real reason to me. Did I have something to do with it, Levon? Tell me the truth.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, partly, I guess.
What did I do? Baby, God, tell me, what did I do to you?
You told me the truth.
And that was it. If I hadn't told you, then it might not have happened. Is that what you're telling me?
Maybe. Why was it so important for me to know who my real father is?
Because if I hadn't told you, someone else might have. I mean, which would you rather have had?
I don't know.
Well, if that's what I did, then I am so sorry. Because you mean the world and 7 other planets to me, baby. You are my baby.
She goes to give him a hug, but he turns away from her.
Okay, well, if you're not going to talk to me anymore, I'm going to go upstairs and look for my other lion costumes. I hope your father didn't throw the rest out. Of course, I wouldn't blame him if he did.
Why did you think I did it?
I just thought you had some disturbance in your brain that you got from my father, who died when I was 7. I know you never heard me say much about your grandfather, but you're a lot like him. He was really smart. And he had trouble handling things. He died of a heart attack, but he tried to kill himself once when I was 5. And that's what we thought it was.
He had trouble handling things?
He did. Yeah. He lost a couple fingers on each hand when he was a kid, and a firecracker exploded in his hands because he didn't throw it on time.
Oh, he literally had trouble like handling things. I thought you meant he had something messed up with his mind.
Well, I mean, of course, only having a few fingers on each hand didn't help his frame of mind any. But it was other things too, I guess.
Why didn't you ever tell me that?
I wanted to protect you. Now I see I just mess things up like I always do. Do you still hate me?
I don't know.
Well, Well, I guess that's better than a yes. Maybe I gotta ask, why was the truth so terrible that you wanted to slash your wrist? I don't get it. Did Milo do something to you, baby? He did something to you, didn't he? He had to for you to hate him so much. What did he do to you, baby? Tell me.
Nothing.
No, honey, it was something. You cut your wrist, for Christ's sake. Now, I'm not going to leave you alone until you tell me what he did to you. Tell me, Levon. Tell me.
He touched me.
Kitty is speechless. She suddenly lets go of Levon and runs out of the house. Levon stands there, not believing he has finally told his secret. After a few moments, Milo Tucker enters through the kitchen. He stands in the doorway for a second, wondering why Levon is not moving.
Where's your mother?
How did you get in?
Kitchen door was unlocked. Where's your mom?
I don't know.
I know she came back here.
Go ahead, check the house. You won't find her.
You're lying. If she didn't come back here, you would have acted surprised when I said she'd come back here.
I never act surprised.
Look, just tell me when she's coming back, and I'll leave you alone.
She won't be back.
How do you know that? Oh, so you have seen her.
I never said I hadn't seen her.
You're a nervy little guy, but I like that. Oh, before I forget, I got something for you. Your birthday's coming up, right?
Yeah. In about 6 months.
I thought so.
He reaches into his leather knapsack and pulls out an inexpensive-looking camera with a detachable lens.
This is for you. Happy birthday, kid.
I don't want it.
What are you talking about? You got a better one? Hey, you know, this camera got one of the highest ratings in the latest Consumer Reports.
I don't want it.
Well, at least try it out. Here, take a picture of me.
He tries to give Levon the camera. Levon takes a step back.
All right, then I'll take a picture of you.
He focuses the lens on Levon, who gives him the middle finger when Milo snaps the photo.
Hey, you know, you're not too bad in front of the camera. You got attitude. That's a good thing. Ever think about maybe fingering some cash? Women like you a whole lot better if they see you got bank. They also like when you got a little fame behind your name. You got money and fame. You'd have all the women you could ever get it up for.
Are you asking me to be in one of your pornos?
Am I asking you, is that what you thought I meant by fingering some cash? No, kid. I meant as in a job.
Doing what?
Selling office products in my store.
Uh-huh.
You're going to be out of school for the summer pretty soon, right?
You want me to work for you? Are you out of your fucking mind?
No, and watch how you talk to me. I like you, kid. I want to do you a favor.
I see what you're doing. You think if you can buy me out, then maybe my mom will go back to you.
Buy you out? I was trying to do you a good thing. But if you don't want my help, fuck it. And by the way, while we're on the subject, I don't make porn. I make adult films.
Mom says you make porn.
Your mom is a stripper. She thinks she's an exotic dancer. We've had many heated debates on the topic. You see, she suffers under the delusion that what she does is somehow artistic.
Oh, and you think your films are artistic?
My films are highly artistic. I'd even have to say they are conceptual works of art, just with a lot of sex in them.
You use kids in them, don't you?
It all depends on what you consider a kid. To me, a 16-year-old is not a kid. And I'm what you might call an equal opportunity provider. A 16-year-old out on the streets, their parents have rejected them. Why shouldn't I help them survive? And when I use actors of various ages, it's good for the art. I like to juxtapose innocence with vulgarity and eroticism.
Well, I'm not innocent. But by law, I'm still a kid, and you can go to jail for helping me survive in the streets.
Not if the authorities never find out.
People actually let you film them while they screw?
Yeah, it's called acting.
I couldn't do that.
You know why? Because you're too scared to.
That's not why.
That's what's wrong with you, basically. You're scared of life, kid. And the more scared you get, the more miserable you are.
Just what I needed. Psychiatric advice from the troll man.
What'd you just call me?
The troll man.
He puts Levon in a headlock.
Very funny, crazy boy. You think I look like a troll now?
He tightens his grip. Milo keeps tightening his grip.
No!
Milo lets go.
Something, pretty boy. How'd you get that scar on your wrist?
I cut myself with a piece of glass. It was about 2 years ago. That's when I had to go to school for disturbed kids.
What the hell ever happened to you made you want to cut yourself?
I think you know.
Now, how would I know why someone would go and do something completely nuts like that? Come on, tell me, Levon. What made you do it?
I found out you were my biological father.
So you found out I was your real daddy, and you decided you wanted to bleed to death. Now, maybe it's just me, but I find that kind of insulting.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand. I don't.
You sounded just like your mother when you said that.
Yeah, well, we have a lot in common.
That's not something you should be bragging about.
You think I don't know that?
Look, I'm sorry I called you crazy. You have to forgive me. A word of advice, though, don't ever drug your girlfriend, tie her up to the toilet. Now that is fucking psychotic. Speaking of which, where is that lunatic little mother of yours? Maybe she is here and she's just hiding somewhere. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty.
The doorbell rings.
Go ahead, answer it. Don't worry, I'll try not to embarrass you too much.
Levon answers the door.
Hi, Miss Miller.
Hi, Levon. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had company. I'll come back later.
No. No, come in. I don't mind.
You sure it's all right?
Of course it's all right. Come on in, Miss Miller.
He puts an arm around her and leads her in.
Well, Levon, aren't you going to introduce us?
This is Athena Miller. She's my teacher. This is Milo Tucker. I'm not sure how to characterize our relationship.
Let's just say we go way back.
We go way back.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Tucker.
Please, call me Milo. The pleasure is all mine, Miss Athena Miller. You never told me you had such a beautiful teacher, Levon.
Thank you, Milo.
Are you here for a tutoring session?
No, well, actually, this is kind of awkward.
Miss Miller and I sometimes have personal discussions.
Really? That's very interesting.
It's part of the nature of the school that Levon attends for the teachers to give, you know what, I'm sorry. I don't want to intrude, so...
No, Athena, please stay. You see, I'm an old friend of the family, actually. I'd like it if we could get better acquainted.
Well, I guess I could stay for a minute or two.
So, tell me, Athena, do you happen to know Levon's... do you know Mickey very well?
No, I wouldn't say I know him well. We've had a few talks recently.
And has he ever said anything about Levon's mother during your talks?
He's mentioned her.
What did he say about her?
He said she died of meningitis.
Meningitis? I've heard of that. Well, Athena, I hate to break it to him, but Kitty ain't dead. And even if she did die, she's probably got about 6 more lives to go, you know what I mean? She ain't going nowhere, I'm afraid.
Well, I recently heard that she was alive, and of course it was a big shock to hear that she hadn't actually died of meningitis. I don't know if it was spinal meningitis or cerebral meningitis that she supposedly had. I never bothered to ask what type she was supposed to have had. Who are you, Milo?
I live with Kitty. Have you seen her?
No, I can't say that I have.
Why is everyone so secretive around here?
Secretive?
Look, let's just cut the shit. I'm looking for Kitty. Would someone just tell me where the fuck she is? I've come all the way from St. Louis, and I'm going to be very disappointed if I don't see her.
I'm sorry, Milo, but I haven't seen Kitty.
He pulls out a gun and points it at her.
And I'm sorry, Athena, but I just don't believe you. Levon's a smart kid. Not bad looking either. Don't you think so, Athena?
Don't I think so? Yes, I think so. He's very smart and attractive.
Think so?
Yes, I do. I think he looks a lot like Mr. Lyons, especially around the eyes.
You think so? It's pretty interesting.
But I think he definitely resembles his mother. She's very attractive.
Well, so you have seen her.
Yes, in pictures.
Well, as I was saying, I think Levon could do very well in adult films. But you, Athena, you'd be a natural.
No, I don't think so.
Do I detect a note of condescension in your voice?
No, you detect a note of modesty.
Oh, you could get over that, no problem. After you've taken your clothes off in front of the strangers a few times, you don't even think about it anymore.
I don't know. I think it would be very difficult.
As difficult as, say, someone pointing a loaded gun at you.
No, not quite that difficult.
So why don't you see just how difficult this is?
What do you mean?
I'm a stranger. Why don't you take your clothes off and see just how difficult it is?
I also have one of my students here.
Oh, I'm sure Levon wouldn't mind. Would you?
No.
You see? Go ahead, Athena. Just think of it as like an audition.
Athena stands and starts to undress. She takes her shoes off and her dress.
Beautiful. Keep going.
She slowly reaches up and takes off her wig. Milo is visibly stunned. Mickey enters and stands in the doorway, understandably shocked by what he is witnessing.
Hey, Mickey. Long time no see.
Hey, Milo, you worthless piece of shit.
Oh, Mickey. You're going to be very sorry you said that.
Milo aims his gun at Mickey and shoots, and Levon knocks him down. The shot misses Mickey. Mickey rushes over to Milo and hits Mickey when he starts to get back up. Levon holds Milo to the ground while Mickey keeps the gun on him. Kitty enters.
You don't get your filthy body off my son in half a second, I'm gonna claw your miserable little eyes right out of their miserable little sockets.
Levon lets go of Milo and gets up off the floor.
Ooh, you almost killed me, bitch. You better be damn fucking glad I was smart enough to mix antihistamines in with those tranquilizers to keep you from taking the whole bottle, or else we'd both be dead right now, you sorry-ass excuse for a fucking Catwoman.
Antihistamines. So that's why I'm still nervous as hell. What did you do to her, as if I didn't know? Honey, go upstairs and clean yourself up, pull yourself together, and call the police.
Athena goes upstairs.
I have been walking around for the past 10 minutes in a daze.
And this is something new.
Levon, I am so sorry I left you here alone. I had to get some air. I would have passed out. Thank God I had enough sense to come right back.
Well, no harm's done. Why don't I just duck out through the kitchen door?
Why don't you just stay where you are, asshole?
Come back to St. Louis with me, kitty butt. You can fill yourself with booze and pills to your heart's content, and I won't say a word. What do you say?
Yeah, what do you say, kitty butt?
Kitty pulls a gun out from under her coat.
I don't think so.
Points to Mickey with the gun.
See, he could never pull the trigger.
Points the gun at Milo.
But I can.
Where the fuck did you get that?
It's yours, you idiot. Just because I didn't have enough sense to kill you with those pills doesn't mean I wasn't smart enough to run off without some protection. So.
Take it away from her. She's drunk.
You better be damn glad I am drunk, because if I was sober, I already will have pulled the trigger.
You're a fucking psycho stripper from hell.
Ooh, Ooh, I like that, Milo. Too bad you'll never be able to use that as the title of one of your conceptual works of art. Now, before I let the police take over, I want you to make a few apologies.
Yeah, fuck you.
Cocks the gun and holds it to his head.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, good luck to you.
Thanks. See, I'll need it now that all of my money is gone, thanks to you. All right.
Points the gun at Mickey again.
Tell him you're sorry, okay? For coming back into my life and ruining his.
Can you please not point that at me?
Oh, sorry. Say it.
Sorry.
Good. For what?
For coming back into this bitch's life and messing up yours.
Athena comes downstairs fully clothed.
All right. Now, apologize to her for making her feel cheap.
I'm sorry I made you feel cheap.
Good. Now, I want you to apologize to Levon. Even though I know it's not going to change anything. It'll never take away what you did, but I want to hear you say you did it.
I never did nothing to him.
Yes, you did. Now say it.
She points the gun at his head.
I didn't do anything. What the fuck did I do?
You touched him. You touched my son.
There is a loud knock at the door.
Somebody better get the fucking door.
Lights fade.
Dream sequence 6, the exploitation.
Lights up on the projection of Lady M, shooting photographers attempting to take her picture. She is triumphant after shooting 27 of the paparazzi in a row. Milo enters with his film camera. Levon comes downstairs in jeans and a t-shirt. Milo places him in front of the camera, then picks up a 6-pack of beer from the floor and holds it in front of his crotch. He says, "Okay, Levon, I'm going to start with just a shot from your waist up. You're going to hold the 6-pack like this." You look into the camera and say, "You want to know what's the first thing I reach for when I get out of the hot tub on those chilly autumn afternoons?" Then you look down at the 6-pack. I go back for a wide shot. Then I want you to pull off a can, hold it in front of you and say, "I reach for this." Then you open the can and take a nice, long, refreshing sip. Okay? Let's rehearse it. Levon says, "You know what's the first thing I reach for when I get out of the hot tub on those chilly autumn afternoons?" Milo comes out from behind the camera and says, "Beautiful. Now, give it to me with feeling." Levon says, "I reach for this." He reaches down into his jeans, pulls out a gun, and shoots Milo dead. Act 2, Scene 3. Mickey is asleep on the sofa. Levon comes downstairs with the suitcase and heads for the front door. Mickey wakes.
What's with the suitcase?
I'm moving in with Joni. Mom thinks it's a good idea.
Oh, she does she? Well, your mom is always good at making smart decisions.
This is how I see it, right? I need to learn to be independent and responsible. I've got a good summer job doing landscaping. Therefore, I can help Joni pay her rent, and I'll be out your way. And most importantly, it might make me a little happy.
Those are a bunch of good reasons you got there, son. Now, let me give you a bunch of reasons why it won't work. First of all, you're only 16. Secondly, you don't even have a driver's license yet. You should learn to drive before you learn how to pay rent. You need to think about getting a car first. Third point, you can learn to be responsible here first. And my last point is this. If you're not around, I won't have anybody to watch wrestling with. Hey, but since you got your bags packed, I'll tell you what. Why don't you go spend a couple days with this woman, and then by that time, I'm sure you'll be ready to move back here with me.
What if I don't come back?
Too bad.
Okay. Whatever. Later.
How
He
are you
heads for the
getting over
front
there?
door.
How are you getting over there?
Walking. She lives in the apartment across the street.
Oh, I see. Well, have a good time. I love you.
Yeah, you too. I guess we'll go now.
Okay. Bye, son. I'm going upstairs to change.
You going out tonight?
Yeah, I thought I'd go catch your mom's show at the club.
What, seriously?
Hell no. I'm just going out for a beer a little later.
Where?
Any place but Chuck's House of Chicks. See ya.
Mickey goes upstairs. Levon looks around, almost as if he's afraid to leave. Just as he starts to head for the doorbell rings. He answers it with a suitcase in hand.
Hi, Levon. You must have already had that talk with your dad.
Yeah. Yeah, he said it was okay. I think the fact that Joni lives right across the street was a major selling point.
It might have been. Well, just be very careful. I know you don't want to lecture from me, but let me just remind you that even though Joni is quite a bit older than you are, she can't make you do anything you don't want to do. Okay?
I know. Did you come here to see me or my dad?
Both of you, actually. Is your dad home?
He's upstairs changing his clothes. Something wrong?
No. I just wanted to see you. Now that school's out for the summer, I've missed seeing you every day. How's your mom doing?
I haven't seen her much. But I know she's testifying at Milo's preliminary hearing in St. Louis. He's up for both assault and battery and the child pornography ring. Yeah, I don't think I'll have to worry about seeing him for a real long time.
Well, in many ways, that's good news. How have your nightmares been?
I haven't had one in a week. Over a week.
That's really good news.
Do you still have nightmares?
Occasionally, but I've had a few good dreams too, so I take it as a sign that things are looking up. How's your dad been the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, he's been okay, but just between us, okay, I think he's kind of lonely. He's been going, well, he hasn't been going out at all. I think all that stuff with my mom and Milo kind of got to him.
Well, that's certainly understandable.
Do you like my dad?
Yes, I like him a lot.
But do you like him?
Well, Levon, let me just tell you this much.
Okay.
Remember the recurring nightmare I told you about where I was in a hospital bed and the part where it was everyone was behind a plate of glass?
Yeah, and there was a little girl who made you touch her hair.
Right. Well, I had the same dream the other night, only
Oh.
this time it was a happy ending. And this time you and your dad were both in it.
Oh, and it was a happy ending?
Yes, it was. What happened was after the little girl had run my fingers through her hair and everyone cried, your dad came up through the crowd dressed as a clown. He picked up my IV bag and stuck one of those curly straws into it and started blowing bubbles. Then you came out dressed as a mime and you pretended to be trapped inside a big box. I yanked the oxygen tube out of my nose, and then your father and I helped you out of the imaginary box.
I was I wearing tights?
Yes, you were, and you looked good in them.
Well, if it looked good, I guess it's okay. I don't want to be rude, Miss Miller, but I gotta go. It was good to see you, though.
You too, Levon. Take care of yourself.
I will. Goodbye, Miss Miller. I'll give you a call sometime, if that's all right.
Of course it's all right. Anytime. Bye, Levon.
Levon exits. Athena walks over to the portrait of Kitty and looks at it. Mickey comes downstairs.
Hello, stranger.
Oh, Mr. Lyons.
What's this Mr. Lyons stuff? Call me Mickey.
Hi, Mickey.
How have you been?
Good. I've been good. I was in the neighborhood making a home visit to a new student I'm going to have, and I just thought I'd stop by.
Another home visit. Oh, those poor, unsuspecting parents. God help them. I hope you're not still mad at me about what I told you about Kitty. See, it's like this. We decided to say that Kitty was dead because Well, it was easier for us to deal with than it would have been to tell people she'd walked out on us. It's a lame excuse, but there you have it.
I understand. And that's what I had figured to be the reason. It makes more sense now that I've seen the whole picture.
Speaking of seeing the whole picture, I heard about your dream.
You did?
Yeah, it was interesting in a good way.
Yes, it was. Dreams are funny things, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. You know what you want to know what I was thinking while I was hearing it?
Sure, why not?
Well, I was thinking I would much rather be a clown than a lion tamer.
You would?
Yeah, I would.
Well, it's a safer occupation.
True. More fun, too.
May I ask you a personal question, Mickey?
Yeah, shoot.
Okay. Well, after everything happened with Milo, everything. Levon told me that Milo was his biological father. How long have you known that?
I've known since he was about 5. That's when I began to really see that he didn't look much like me. Then one day I found a snapshot of Kitty and Milo. They were on the beach together. I showed it to Kitty and she confessed, and that the troll man was Levon's sperm depositor. I would have sent her packing, but by that point, Levon was my son. I never knew Milo, and then all these years later, he comes back into town. She goes off to St. Louis with him, and well, you know the rest.
Levon's a great kid. He has you to thank for that.
Oh, I think I'm more in his debt than he is in mine. If he had knocked that gun out of Milo's hands, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
You're right. But you know what? He was helping himself as much as he was helping you.
Yeah, I guess he was.
Well, I guess I'd better be going.
I'll give you a call sometime.
Sure. I'd like that. Well, goodbye, Mickey.
Goodbye, Athena.
Mickey starts to shake her hand, then puts his arm around her and kisses her. It becomes passionate. Levon enters. They quietly break apart.
You don't have to stop. I just forgot my toothbrush.
He heads upstairs.
Well, goodbye again.
Goodbye.
Athena exits. Levon comes downstairs.
I didn't really forget it.
Oh? You and Joni have a fight already?
No, she just had to go to work.
I see. Well, the fumigator is about to take on the embalmer any minute now, if you want to hang out.
Sure, might as well.
He sits beside Mickey as Mickey turns the TV on.
You like her, don't you?
Well, let me tell you about a little dream I had. I was lying in the middle of a wheat field wearing scuba gear when all of a sudden...
Get out of here. Come on.
Levon hits Mickey in the face with a pillow. They start to have a pillow fight. Lights fade. Lights come up on the projector. Levon is on a Zoom call.
Hey, Dr. Weston. I wanted to explain why I moved back home after 3 days. You asked me that question during our last session, and I couldn't think why. After thinking it through, I realized that it had nothing to do with pressure from my dad or Miss Miller. To be perfectly blunt about it, Joni was driving me nuts. I'm not saying I don't love her, but I can't live with her.
Levon enters from the kitchen and watches himself on the screen.
Oh, and you asked me why I thought I stopped having nightmares for the time being, at least, I guess. I guess I'd just rather live in real life.
The screen goes dark. Levon's phone rings.
Hey, Joni. Nothing. What are you up to? Okay, I'll be there.
Levon picks up his backpack and exits. end of play. Actors, please come on so that the audience may give you applause. Audience, you are welcome to unmute. And playwright, please join us. Excellent. Super.
Thank you for your support of the arts. ATC Studios is a 501c3, and your tax-deductible donations are always gratefully accepted. You may make a donation through our website right on the homepage at www.atcstudios.org or by Venmo at ATC Studios. Thank you for joining us.